WWL-TV's Eyewitness News begins with breaking news.
Morning fog is blamed on a major pileup on Interstate 55, and it looks like dozens of vehicles are involved. We are getting some shocking video and photos from the scene of this crash, and the scene itself is quite large. We have seen burned tanker trucks and other vehicles just smashed together on the bridge. The first images of the dramatic scene started popping up on social media as first responders rushed to close the interstate to try and prevent more crashes. You can see how thick the fog was at the time, and it continues to be an issue now. At this point, there is still a lot happening, and there are a lot of damaged vehicles and people still stuck on I-55. Leah McNeil has been out talking to folks near the scene. She joins us now live with an update. Hey there, Leah.
Well, there is a massive law enforcement response here to this scene. I'm standing right now on I-51. Right above me, right behind me rather, is Highway 55, where that massive pileup is. We can see so many vehicles just mangled and wrapped around each other. You can see some firefighters actually standing right on top of those vehicles, still working to put out some of those hot spots. When we first got here a little bit closer to the scene about 15 or so minutes ago, we saw still clouds of smoke coming up from these cars. Since then, they've been able to get that down quite a bit compared to what it was when we saw those initial videos circulating on social media. Here on scene, we do see, again, a massive law enforcement response. St. John Parish Fire and Rescue is out here. Tangipahoa Sheriff's Office is out here as well, including the fire marshals, all working together just to piece this scene together and get these people, who some of them are still standing on the interstate because they are trapped. They just cannot go anywhere. One of those people who actually pulled up here on the scene just to make sure that her loved one was okay is here right now and still kind of able to wave and talk to her family member that is still in the middle of this mangled mess that is on I-55. Take a listen to her.
My daughter and granddaughter is in there, and I got a phone call. I was at a funeral and they was trying to get there, and she calls me, Mama, they've had a bad wreck and we're in it, but we're okay. And my granddaughter is a doctoring student, and she just jumped out immediately and went to start doing what she could to save lives.
Now, her family members are still right now right on top of I-55 as they continue to try and unmangle these cars. We haven't gotten a clear timeline as to when this will all be cleared up, but what you're looking at right now is just a piece of this accident. This actually stretches on for at least about a half or mile or so behind from where this part of the accident is. As you kind of look towards the cars going back, there's even more and more pileups from what I'm just looking at right now. So this is going to take quite some time to untangle all these vehicles and really to be able to see the extent of the damage that's done here on I-55. We are continuing to get word from law enforcement here, working to learn more information and the latest on their investigating efforts. We do know as of right now that dense fog that we saw earlier this morning is expected to be a major contributing factor to this pileup that we see right now on I-55. Reporting live, Leah McNeil, Eyewitness News.
A lot still developing. Leah, thanks. Authorities, of course, are urging drivers to avoid those roadways due to all the damaged cars and debris. State police are now taking the lead in this investigation, and they tell us they are bringing in extra troopers to assist in the response. Lily Cummings is also following the impact of the crash force. She has spoken to some of the people caught in the wreckage. Lily, what have you learned?
Hey Mike, well, we are in Laplace at the intersection of Highway 51 and I-10. We want to show you a little bit about what's going on here. As you mentioned, LSP is taking the lead on this, and they also are working with St. John Parish Sheriff's Office. You can see multiple deputies out here diverting traffic. What you're looking at right now is traffic coming eastbound off of I-10 being diverted to Airline Highway. Now, all of that traffic has been backing up. We've been out here for the last hour or so looking at things. Now, you'll also see on the other lane of traffic coming through Laplace, you have LSP blocking off that. So they're not letting anyone go east. They're not letting anyone go north. So this is going to impact you if you're in this area. Also important to note that the only folks that they have let go north on 51 towards 55 are those first responders. As Leah was just mentioning, we've seen first responders, we have seen tow trucks, we've seen DEQ come through here. I've seen several ambulances coming south from the scene. So a lot of stuff is moving moving parts right now, but we want to keep everyone informed with those road closures. So several things to keep in mind if you're coming out this way. Again, as Leah mentioned, this is heavy fog in this area, so if you are driving, be very careful. It still smells very heavily of smoke right now. There's a fire smell in the air. So all of this, keep in mind if you're headed out here. I know Leah mentioned talking to someone whose daughter was helping some of those folks who are injured up closer to the crash site. I also have talked to someone whose daughter's an ICU nurse. She just happened to be on I-55 as this happened, and she immediately got out of the car and started helping people as well. I'm not sure if that's the same person, but we do have seen multiple first responders come through this area. But again, only first responders being let through this area at this time. We've even heard people say, you know, well, I live north, you know, I need to go north to get to my house, and they're saying, I'm sorry, we got to turn you around and send you back towards Airline Highway through Laplace. So that is what is happening now. Keep all of these road closures in mind. Mike?
Lily, thanks. All of that fog has forced the causeway to close. That was earlier, and it's been a serious issue for drivers today across the area. Traffic reporter Colleen Seeley joins us now with an update. Hey there, Colleen.
Hey, Mike, thank you so much. This is just a very unfortunate situation. Beginning with a live look of the spillway, it is closed, but this can give you a better idea of what to anticipate, as this fog is still a serious problem, primarily for the South Shore commute. Now, as they've talked about closures, let's take a visual look at this. I-10 westbound, it is closed at 310, so you cannot take the spillway if you're trying to head out of the Kenner Metairie areas, and then traveling in from the Baton Rouge area, Laplace. I-10 eastbound is also closed. Again, the spillway is shut down because of the serious situation involving at least 20 confirmed vehicles. Again, this is on I-55. It is shut down in both directions. Now, even when they clean this all up, the bridge is anticipated to shut down as well after this, because they need to do the bridge inspection to make sure that the interstate is safe to be back on because of this devastation right now. Now, continuing along the causeway, Highway 51 is still closed as well. That would usually be your alternate to take. The causeway is an alternate, but I don't even suggest that right now, because we are seeing those heavier delays, about double the time traveling in that northbound direction and then traveling southbound. Check it out. About over 2 hours for that commute southbound. I do strongly advise to use a twin span if you can as your alternate, because of course you can see from this live look, it is looking better. Fog is impacting just a little bit, but of course there's a lot more visibility on the roadways. Again, when you're traveling, do not use the high beams. Use the low beams. Don't use your flashers. This can cause more problems in addition to that already problematic fog.